I'm excited you're coming up, by the way.
Yeah, man, that's cool. That's like not to like rag on my wife, but this is like the coolest thing she's done in years.
Right?
I was really
right?
fucking
Pretty
surprised.
good. Yeah, we're excited.
So yeah, I also did get clarification that the hockey sex books that she's reading are not hockey players doing each other, which is super a fucking bummer.
Right? Isn't there like a show out right now of two male hockey players?
There is, and I thought that's what she was kind of into.
Yeah.
And it's not. She's reading some kind of like 6-book thing about a hockey team, and each book is from a player's perspective about his girlfriend or wife and what he's going through. And it's a romance thing with like, and then the other guys are just barely in it with their spouses or whatever, and then it just retells the same story 6 times, I guess, from 6 to...
Yeah, I don't know about the whole hetero thing.
No.
Welcome to the Insignificants, the oral history of Darling Waste. This is, I believe, episode 12.
Yes.
Sound right? All right. And so I am Jamie. I am your co-host. Introduce Lance Waste himself from Darling Waste.
Today, we are talking about Begin Again, a song title that has been used 5 trillion times by bands, by the way. You can do an entire album, more than one album on the song. The song's called Begin Again.
I will say I remembered this one.
Did you really?
I actually did.
So I remember liking it and remember it being like an important song off the first album, but couldn't remember how it went. And then I was listening, I'm like, oh, it was like listening to like an old friend. You're like, okay. Every couple seconds I was like, oh, that's right. And it was good.
I know we talked last time about, I don't know if I made the episode or not, but about some of the reviews you got early on, one of them comparing you to Third Eye Blind, and I'm wondering if it's the melody of this song
think so?
Ended up, so keep that in mind as we do our listen through today.
Oh, yeah, that's the announcement. Launched a store. That's what I did this week. Not 1034, Heart Riot, heartriot.co. Heartriot.co is our new t-shirt store.
I can probably say I've already been there and checked out all the merchandise.
Hooray. I am, go check it out. We got 5 old Darling Waste shirts that have been out of print for a long time, and they're not like the ones you would suspect, I think. It's not like
I was so glad to see Cryonosaurus Rex on there.
That's a good one. Yeah, so I picked a shirt from like every era of the band. That was the newest one. That was a newer shirt.
I just like the tear for the eye.
Yeah. But there's one that used to be a Hot Topic exclusive, the red striped one. There is, I don't remember. Go look at them. It's Darling Waste, and I'll do that periodically. We'll throw some up, and then we got some Heart Riot merch, and then I designed some little the little monsters from like little Universal monsters, and each one of them has like a hang up. Like the vampire says, "Sorry, I suck." So yeah, go check them out. They're fine.
Heartriot.co.
Yeah. And So the shirts are the Skeleton Key shirt from the Skeleton Key era, the Darling Waste floral logo from the era right before that, the Darling Waste stacked shirt from the era right before that, the Darling Waste red line t-shirt from the Hot Topic exclusive, and then the newer one, the Darling Waste.
Yeah, so I was trying to think, we had talked a little bit last time about like the 1034 kiosk, and I couldn't remember if that was before or after Manifest.
So always before.
Okay, because the club was after Manifest?
Correct. So let's go back in time. 2004. We put ourselves into 2004. The album is out. 1034 Records has launched. You are recording bands like crazy. I am signing bands like crazy, throwing shows all over town. And we needed to set up distribution. We were putting out albums. So we got a phone book, and I made Jeremiah sit and call every CD store in Ohio and ask them what their policies were, and ask them to commit to, we really want people to buy them off of us wholesale instead of doing commission, because commission we had to drive around and check them all the time.
By the way, I'm thinking for our Gen Z and Gen Alpha people, do they know what a phone book is? And
they know what a CD is.
I'm just looking at my daughter so that she can give me the face she gives me when I use that joke.
And do you know what a CD is? Do you know what a store is? So, also, the phone was a home phone we were using. We had an office phone. So they used to make these things called CDs. They were physical representations of music, and they used to sell them in these things called CD stores, which were physical representation of an Amazon shop. So we were trying to get the physical music into the physical Amazon shop, or the physical Spotify. Right, but you had to pay to listen to it. It was crazy.
Right, and then you got to keep it, but nobody else could listen to it.
Right,
and you had to have all of it, not just one part of it.
Back in my day, you could touch music. So Jeremiah was doing that. He was working his butt off just all day long, calling these stores. And then I remember for some reason him and Kelly were like a team on this, and would like drive to Columbus and drop off 300 records to like 70 stores and stuff. And then every month they had to go back, because if you missed certain amount of days it kept them. Mm-hmm. Like so we had to go around and make the rounds again and stuff. So Jeremiah was doing all of that. We got into all the what used to be called record exchange. You remember record exchanges?
Oh, I do.
And then they became the CD game exchange, and then they became the exchange. They still exist.
Do they?
Yeah, they're still out there. They had a weird.
What do they exchange now? Just like memories of times gone by?
for money. We'll let you. It's like a museum. You pay $5. You get to wander
just to
around.
Reminisce.
Actually, I'm sure it's actually also a. I can't do the word to make the joke. What's it? It's like a reoccurring charge. You pay them $20 a month for like access to walk around their store. And if you forget to turn it off, it just charges you every month. So it's subscription. Yeah, it's a subscription-based memory store now. So for a long time, the record exchange was awesome. They used to have records when vinyl records didn't cost anything. All the records were like $1. We should have bought all of them back then and then sold them now. And then they had row after row after row of CDs. And they had new stuff, hard to find stuff, local stuff, and tons and tons of used stuff. We were selling there. We had Chris's Warped Records in Lakewood. We had, I think the one up in Coventry was Record Revolution, I think was the name of that store.
Maybe. That's what I was trying to remember, if that was an exchange or if that was Record Revolution.
They were both up. There was two up there.
Oh, okay.
Exchange was on the corner. It was a corner thing. And then Record Rev was upstairs, downstairs, or right ground floor basement. Records in the basement, CDs were upstairs. So we had them all there. We were even selling at like Chain Link Addiction and West Side Skates and places that weren't even music stores, but they were letting us set up a little standee. So we had all that going for us. Then we got, do you remember Polestars?
Oh, yeah.
So a Polestar used to be a very expensive book, right? Like super thick book of every radio station in America and then all of the charts. I think you could buy a cheaper one that was just the charts, but there was one that was like $100 or something, came out every year. And it was the name, address, and phone number of the person in charge of every radio station in America, all the AAA, all the college, all the main ones. So we had the Polestar. Jeremiah started calling every radio station pretty much in fucking America. And we started shipping these.
Of all things, he was very good at that sort of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Then I drove to Minneapolis with my mother. We took her car. And we drove to Minneapolis in a snowstorm, and I signed a distro deal, and I just found out, I couldn't remember their name, and I Googled. Tinderbox Music was their name.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember them?
I do.
The nicest fucking people. I think his name is John, was the head of Tinderbox.
I assume they're defunct now?
No. I just looked them up, tinderboxmusic.com. They've worked with Lizzo, 21 Pilots, Goose, which is the biggest fucking... Is Geese or Goose the big band right now?
I don't know how to...
Oh, I think maybe Goose is the old one and Geese is the new one. Hold on, maybe I could be wrong.
Is it made up of their children? That'd be funny.
Yeah, Goose is 2014. Okay. What about Geese? Geese is the new one. Yeah, okay, so never mind. I was like, they worked with each other. Okay. Yeah, but they worked with Geese. That's huge. So most of their things they've done are old, right? They've worked with Semisonic. They've worked with Ingrid Michaelson, the Meat Puppets, Goose, Imagine Dragons, Modest Yahoo, Camper Van Beethoven. So in that era, but they have some modern stuff too. But the big claim to fame, they were put together basically by Prince. I didn't even know this until I was there. Prince got off his label, when he, carved the word slave into his beard, and wanted off of Warner Brothers, I think it was, and started his own distribution, and that was John with Tinderbox was helping him distribute. I went up and met with them. They were great. I gave them, I think it was something bananas, like 300 CDs from each of our artists, which I cannot believe that, like, right now, as a 45-year-old, if you're like, Lance, pay for 900 CDs or 1,500, I'd be like, yeah, hold up, what are we doing with these? And at like 22 or whatever, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, so bananas. I remember it was something like I had to give him all of those, and then for 100 of them for each band, give him $5 each. So it's 500 for Darling Waste, 500 for Delay. I know I did those two. I think there was one more though. I think I did 3. So I gave him like $1,500 and roughly 900 CDs, and drove up there with them. And so he started pushing them out to radio and for press and for licensing and things like that. So we secured a little bit of licensing, secured a little bit of radio play. They did really good with radio play for our bands. Suddenly, so the goal was to chart, right? That was our goal, was to get one of our bands charting.
Do you think Johnny Psycho might have been?
That might have been the third one. It was someone who maybe already had an album ready to go that we didn't even record, maybe. And I'm wondering if they had them sitting around too. It might have been a Delay had some sitting around already, I think. But yeah, so Change Seasons, that's how we charted, was through Tinderbox. We already had a couple stations playing it, and then 50 overnight, and then 100 a couple weeks later, and out of those, a lot of them, it made it in. Here's another thing Jeremiah was really good at. We collectively were really good at going on MySpace and saying, hey, 92.5 in this place is playing it. This is their number. Do us a solid and call and request it. And then Jeremiah himself would just grind on phones and call and request Change of Seasons everywhere in America, and it just started charting. Like, it was that easy that just sitting in our living room, we could just chart a song if we tried really hard. And now I think you could probably do it even more, because I don't think anybody else is trying. They're all trying to like Spotify chart and stuff. I bet you right now a kid with a rap song could probably chart on AAA pretty fucking easy. If you sell like 900 records now, like, you're one of the top selling artists of the week. So we're getting on radio play, AAA, college. For those who don't know, AAA is just not commercial, not clear channel, right? I don't know. So most colleges are AAA, but not all AAA are colleges, I think is the best way to say that.
Yep.
Right?
So like we have WBER here in town, which is, a non-commercial, non-college station. At least I think they're non-college, although they may have like an hour or two each week where like a local high school does the programming or something. But yeah, they're not affiliated with the college.
So I am at this point bankrolling these bands and letting Jeremiah live with me for free, because he is working 24 hours a day for me. So I went out and I got a job. I remember I was working as a stir-fry hibachi chef, probably right when I met you, I would say. And then by this time, so Halloween of 2003, I got a job at a Halloween store. Mm-hmm. And I was managing a Halloween shop in the mall, maybe assistant manager or something. That ends. I got a job selling oversized slippers, like giant puffy house shoes that were like monster feet. Do you remember us all having those, by the way? I don't remember that. Like me and Kelly and like Jeremiah, Willow, all just have these giant monster feet.
I love that.
So those were off a cart, and so I saw those in a cart. And then when Christmas ended, they switched to sunglasses. So then all day, every day, I was selling sunglasses. And so what I was doing, and this was at Great Northern Mall and at South Park Mall. I was going back and forth to the two. What I was doing was making samplers, 10-song samplers of the bands on 1034. And giving them out. I remember, you had your duplicator at work,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and then we built some kind of Frankenstein duplicator tower thing. Do you remember that? It was like we could do like 5 or something.
So at MetroSync, we had an official one with a robotic arm, and it would literally pick up discs off a spindle and put them in all the things and all that. But I believe you and I cobbled together a bunch of internal CD drives into just an old tower, and we just had to manually load, but we could do a couple at a time that way, because I was always collecting random parts of broken computers to salvage.
So same thing. I think Jeremiah and me to extent, but I think Jeremiah and Kelly were like just cranking out tons and tons of 1034 samplers and probably handwriting my phone number on them. And, it was Darling Waste, Delay, probably your band at that point, probably one of Jeremiah's songs at that point, Johnny Psycho, the Merkers, just a nice sampler, handing them out to everyone in the mall. And that, I really think something is that simple just blew everyone up really big. We just found this audience of hundreds of kids. Every high schooler in Ohio got a sampler from me at some point, right? And if you called the number, you would get me. Like, I would just talk to anybody. And we'd guest list everyone, and we'd put everyone on at shows. And if you had a band, you could open for us and just try to really get this thing, going. While working this day job to pay to do all this. So at South Park Mall, there was a guy next to me. He had a cart, and it was an Avon cart, and he was this little old man. And we just headed off. We sat around and talked while no one was in there and stuff. And so he told me that he had a bunch of these carts and that his Avon cart was doing fucking horrible at Great Northern. And he asked me if I wanted to sell sunglasses there. And I said we already had a sunglass cart. It wasn't mine. I was working for someone else. And he asked me if I had any other ideas for carts. And I pitched him my record label and said, what about letting me sell my record label's CDs off this cart? And he said, not good enough. There's no way you're going to make any money doing that. And at the time, Hot Topic had pushed away from street punk and was doing really big, baggy pants and metal shit. So I said, what about chain wallets and studded belts and studded like spiky bracelets and shit like that, hair dye?
I was say Manic Panic.
Yeah. So we started looking around, and I started calling some people, and I got in touch with the Manic Panic people who put me in touch with another company who made all the belts and stuff. And I actually got to talk, and I'm going to mess this up somehow, and I don't know how. I got to talk to either Tish or Snooki, who, if you look at the bottle of Manic Panic, it says Tish and Snooki's Manic Panic. I did not know who they were. I didn't even know they were people. Do you know who they are, by the way?
No, but I was under the impression that Manic Panic just sort of came into existence on its own, fully formed. And
so this is wild. Tish and Snooki, I'm not making this up at all. They were Blondie's friends and stylists. And they designed all of Blondie's clothing for her, Debbie Harry. And then when Blondie broke and got big, they used the money to open a store on St. Mark's called Manic Panic. And it was one of the first punk stores in the area. And then they started selling their own hair dye and grew it out of St. Mark's, which I love St. Mark's so much anyway. And then obviously, but for people who don't know, there's a store called Trash and Vaudeville in New York that I very, very like a week worked at briefly. But Jimmy, who has since passed away, I love him more than anything in the world. He's the greatest dude. When I was in high school, I went on a trip to New York, and that guy treated me like royalty. And he remembered me every time I came through. And he just, he's friends with Joey Ramone. He's friends with all these fucking cool people. And for him to know who I am is just blows my mind. He was friends with them as well, and kind of they're like, oh, Jimmy, oh my god. So they treated me so well, and they fronted us all of that stuff because we did not have thousands of dollars. So Tish and Snooki fronted us not only their hair dye, they had not even put it out to market yet, but they were going to do their own cosmetic line. So we became one of the first stores that wasn't the official Manic Panic store. To that point, I think it was in Brooklyn, to sell this stuff. We were the only place in Ohio selling fake eyelashes and lip liners and all this stuff from Manic Panic. And then they went above and beyond, and they actually hooked us up with the people who did the chain wallets and the belts and stuff, and vouched for us and helped us get that in there as well. So it was really weird as, 20, I think it was 23, to be like, yes, Blondie's people and Jimmy from fucking one of my absolute heroes are helping us launch this cart in a mall in Ohio.
Nothing more punk than that.
Yeah, so we launched a store. Hot Topic immediately threatened to sue us. They immediately tried to get us kicked out of the mall. I also bought some stuff from Accoutrement, was the name of the company, that did silly, slightly offensive stuff. So then we had like Christian moms and a local church trying to get us kicked out. The biggest sticking point, we had like action figure Jesus who had a machine gun, and we had all this cool shit. And the one thing that the mall finally was like, you got to get rid of it, pirate flags. We had like boxing nuns and like all this weird like stuff that we sold, and that was the one, like, you cannot have the pirate flags.
What do you think they were like picking up from that?
I don't know what they thought it was, man. They thought it was satanic or something. So anyway, April of 2004, we launched the 1034 store. I do have a press release, and you're on it. Oh my
gosh, look at that.
Yeah,
that is me
holding the Dr. Pepper.
Gosh, I haven't changed one bit.
So I'm going to read it to you real quick, and then we'll move on from this. Lead singer of Cleveland band continues to innovate. April 5th, 2004. Lance Williams, lead singer of the alternative rock band Darling Waste, is also the president of his own record label 1034 Records, after signing 9 other bands. So at this point, we had 10 bands on our roster. Williams devised a plan to sell the label's music in a local shopping mall. The 1034 store, located in Westfield Shopping Town, formerly Great Northern Mall, in Cleveland suburb North Olmsted, was created as a way to get local music to a wider audience, while simultaneously helping the bands on 1034 raise money for touring and promotion. The store carries all 1034 band releases, including CDs, shirts, stickers, patches, buttons, and posters. They also carry the full line of Manic Panic hair dye and cosmetics, chain wallets, body jewelry. Oh yeah, we sold tons of body jewelry. I forgot about that. Punk and goth accessories and more. The store is open, blah, blah. For more information, blah, blah, blah. And then it's just about us. So yeah, and that was in Scene Magazine, and I think Plain Dealer ran an article about us. And I remember someone came and photographed us one day, just like, oh, this is for Friday Magazine. We're like, holy shit! So yeah, it was a big deal. We were only there for like a year. I think we did 1 year out of our 3-year lease. By the summer of 2005, we launched the 1034 Club. Mm-hmm. Every single kid who bought something from us got our music and got to, and we actually did. Do you remember Between Home and Serenity? Do you remember that band?
I know the name, yeah.
Yeah, so B-Hoss was huge. They had just signed to Victory Records, I believe. No, they turned them down. They signed to Rust Records. Disaster. Anyway, like we did like a meet and greet with those guys one day, and like had like a line through the mall, and like when bands would come tour, we would have like an autograph signing thing at our cart, and then we tried to do in-store performances off the cart, and we just kept getting in trouble. I remember I don't know if it was Fall Out Boy. I don't think it was. No, it was. I can't remember who it was, but whoever was opening for Fall Out Boy was trying to do an acoustic in-store performance, and we got like 80 kids in the mall, and they're like, get the fuck out of here. You're not playing a show. What is wrong with you? So yeah, we were doing that kind of stuff.
Malls actually don't love punks loitering around.
I remember I also got to live out so many of my fantasies having that cart. I could just be in the mall at night, and if a security guard stopped me, they just knew me. I skateboarded that mall so many fucking times. As soon as the security like walked to one area, I'm like, and time to skate. And I would just skate the mall. Okay, so that's it. We had a store in the mall. We sold stuff off of it. We created a larger community I'm self-aggrandizing. I don't know. It is what it is.
It really was a very cool community of a great number of bands, and then all of their different high schools
Yeah.
People that knew each band individually, but the sort of the cross population really was pretty impressive and lots of fun shows.
It just became this weird thing too. Like we sold stuff and we did okay, but anytime you came around, there were just like 20 people milling around our cart, and also I hired all of the bands to work the cart and just paid them to work there for the day. So, there's a lot of bands getting to meet people that way too, as well, so it was a good time.
It was definitely part of creating that whole scene that you created.
Yeah, I mean, it was stupid. I wouldn't do it again, but it was something that you do once.
So the money is not in the mall cart?
Believe it or not. So, okay. So.
Begin again.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so the song we're talking about is track 10 off of our debut album, Truth About Lies. It's called Begin Again. Pause, go listen to the song by yourself, and then we will chunk it. Okay, so they've listened to it. If you haven't, go listen to it or don't. I don't care. You don't have to listen to it. You can listen to chunks with us. Jamie. Fuck. I was trying to say memories. Jamie, do you have any memories of this song before you listened to it today?
No, I had none. I mean, when I played it, I was like, yep, I remember this song, but that was it.
Okay, so
I was trying to figure out, I guess we'll talk about those questions at the end.
Well, no, let's move them up. Let's move them up.
As I say, did we play this on the first tour? I feel like we might have.
It's so easy, and I know how to play it still, so probably. Let's see what the liner notes say about it. It's written in 6 font because I wasn't planning on getting old, so let me read it here. Words and music, L. Williams. Music. Mm-hmm. Words, L. Williams. Music, L. Williams and Nick Garba. He got a songwriting credit on this. I'll have to listen to see what he did. L. Williams, acoustic, electric bass, synth, strings, and vocals. Nick Garba, electric guitar. Eric Balternick, drums. All right. You ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
All along, all I wanted was just to have some friends. And all along, all I wanted was a place to fit in. And all along, all I wanted was just to be myself. And all along, all I wanted was to be an individual, just like everybody
All right,
else.
let's talk about the first verse here. Yes, you are correct. Those synth strings are like ships passing in the night and blowing horns at each other. It's a strange choice for an arrangement.
It's interesting as I was listening to this, thinking about the overall mix. This first part we just listened to is so dramatically quieter than the main body of the song, and yet we just stopped at sort of that first quiet chorus that starts the song after this intro certainly does get a bit louder. And I'm really wondering if in mastering, after we had finished mixing the song, if we actually just dropped this whole section's volume down to make it really quiet so that the next part could hit, but the next part would still be quiet enough for that third big part to hit, because it's just so dramatically quieter.
Yeah, I just was fumbling around trying to turn it up for you because I'm like, oh my God, it's really quiet.
Yeah, and I'm the dynamic range just wouldn't exist in today's music, I don't think.
No, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. As far as music songwriting, I do this thing my whole career, early on for sure. I'm sure I'm still guilty of it. I think probably Please Lie to Me is this. It's just like writing chords in this box of like 1 1 3 3 in some, so I think the song is probably like F C G B flat, and I'm guilty of that a lot in Darling Waste music. So what I usually do, or typically, is I either go from F to B flat, like the standard punk thing, or F to C, G to B flat. Jing, 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 right?
Yeah, so you'd be like 1 5 2 6. Be very common
Yeah.
pattern.
So that's I wonder, because everyone always makes fun of Taylor Swift for having the same patterns. I wonder how many times I've done that exact pattern. I bet you it's like 10,
you and
at least
every
20.
rock band that has existed for all of time.
So yeah, it has the, for early lyric writing, I don't mind it. The all alongs repeating and she said, I said kind of stuff, and seems fine.
I wish we had re-recorded your vocals better, though. It's this particular part of the song is very pitchy. It gets better throughout the rest, but just this intro is really pitchy.
True. All right, you ready?
And look at that, people out there in the world. You can choose to not use pitch correction.
If I just couldn't afford it, I would have used it.
It's probably true.
I'm pitch correcting my vocals right now.
Do you think we mixed some of these songs in B and didn't even mix them all in A?
Yeah. Okay. There's songs that we mixed. Some of this ending stuff that we didn't give a shit about, we mixed direct to the board for sure.
Okay.
Okay. Now what I thought would be a pre-chorus, but you're saying is just the chorus.
I think it just goes verse chorus in this quiet part.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right. So the chorus. Here we go.
And it's not hard when you're standing with your friends. But it's so hard, and it's so hard when you don't even have the strength to begin again.
Yeah, so you're making the Lance is overplaying his bass motion, and then what a drum fill coming into the second verse.
Yeah,
we're building up into the second verse.
There's some times where I've liked his drumming and his choice. I struggle with it in this song because the main song is so simple that like the song's a little empty for me. And actually, I don't mind that the bass is doing something because pretty much nothing is doing anything. It's pretty stripped down arrangement.
No, for sure. All right, here we go. Second verse.
And all along, all she wanted was to be part of the crowd. And all along, everybody knew that this was not allowed. And all along, all he wanted was to be part of her world. And all along, all he wanted was to finally get the girl.
The whole verse is so Our Lady Peace. And all along, all he wanted. Finally,
come on, I love those harmonies at the end. I love those harmonies on the end. That's great.
So Our Lady Peace. The whole song is very Our Lady Peace.
Yes, especially your vocal delivery.
And this has a trademark Jaime backing vocals are as loud as the regular vocals.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
hard panned.
Oh,
there's
I
just
love
a
it so
guy
much
over
when it
here
came in.
also singing.
When it came in, the other day when I was listening, I was like, "Oh, this is amazing."
What's that man doing right there?
So
right.
what are your thoughts on this verse?
Piano hits are nice. Everything else is not great. I have a weird soft spot for this song, probably because I did a good job emulating bands that I liked from this era. So I'm like, Our Lady Peace. This sounds like bad Our Lady Peace. It's very, again, this whole record and probably my whole career, I'll probably say this for like 12 albums, is very high schoolish. Like, she wants to be in the crowd and the in crowd doesn't like her, but he likes her. I'm going to save you, girl. Which is, that's the genre and where I was probably.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
You know me, I would have cut the non-vocal intro in half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always would have.
This time I wondered, just because it introduces the new... I'm probably being too particular. Because I'm like, it introduces the new instrumentation. You get to vibe with the instrumentation for a minute.
Nobody needs to vibe.
No, if the instrumentation was better or the performances were better, then okay. What about that? But that's where we introduce this, like the lap guitar, like the slide guitar, and it gets a little thing, and then we go in. There needed to be something needed to shine there a little bit.
Right, there needed to be something other than just twice of the exact same thing. The other thing, listening to it, that I'm wondering is if the song would have hit better if it was a little faster. I wonder if it's just a little slow.
Well, we do speed it up at the end. I think, don't we change tempos?
Maybe. I don't know how you recorded this, so I'd have to go back and listen.
My belief, and this is just a gut, is I remember thinking, I think Nick, when he solos at the end, was like, it's too slow for me to do what I want to do. Can we bump it up? And I think we bumped it up at the end. I might be making that up, though.
And it's not hard when you're standing with your friends, but it's so hard, and it's so hard when you don't even have the strength to begin again. And all along, all I wanted was to finally get the girl.
Yeah, this was recorded at two different tempos.
Yeah, okay. I think it would have been better if we'd recorded it all at that
fast tempo.
Higher tempo. Yeah.
I don't know. It might have been too jammy sounding. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, how did you know that wasn't me playing guitar?
The solo?
Yeah.
I think Nick did a nice job on that.
Yeah, it was good. I remember when we first got together. So we're getting into, so the next week we're doing Not Around, which was the first song me and Nick ever wrote as Darling Waste. Begin Again was maybe one of the first couple as well. And the idea was he was a huge Jane's Addiction fan, huge Dave Navarro fan, just like Master Shredder type stuff. And I liked Counting Crows and Pearl Jam. So that was really like Begin Again and Not Around were definitely can we blend this together to do that kind of, very heartfelt stuff, but also he shreds. No, not really.
I thought this one worked in this, and actually all I wished was that there was something maybe other than him that kicked out of his solo into the vocals. There's something about that transition that just isn't done yet.
Yeah, I think
thought he did a nice job, and I thought it fits. Do you think we recorded the beginning and ending with the fake strings and guitar at MetroSync, but you had the body of the song, and did we then jam it all together?
I don't think you recorded the acoustic, but I think we put the strings on it.
Oh, okay.
And probably the piano hits. I think that's why I came to you, looking for a better piano. So
yeah, I don't know I know we did change the seasons on our piano. I don't know how many of the others we did.
I think I did a fair amount of going through and padding things out because their piano was out of tune and just awful. And I think we just, anything I did do, I think we just deleted and replayed. That ending reminds me of two things, and one, I don't do it anymore. I never haven't in years. That's a very Ani DeFranco thing, and I don't I'm sure other people would do it too, but that's my first thought. Is Ani DiFranco always did the first line of the song as the last line of the song again, but like quieter and sadder, to like as like the return to the thesis of what she was singing about, kind of thing. I've always been a big fan of that, and I
thought you nailed the vocals on it too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then I do want to say we must have played this one live, because I have different melody lines in my head that I don't think I had before this. But I think at the end, I used to go, all along, all I wanted was to finally get the girl. And then I think live I used falsetto on the like, and all along, all we want. I think I did like a little more on that as time went on. So I think we did play this a little bit live. Okay, overall thoughts. We'll begin again, or more thoughts, or anything else you got?
Not bad for a first local, or, first album local band sort of song. It's just boring.
Yeah.
Production-wise, but fine.
I think I am proud of myself for nailing the emotion and the emotional core that Darling Waste goes on to have. This feels emotionally like a Darling Waste song, if not fully fledged out. I don't hate this, and I don't know why we buried. It's way better than like Nothing Special or Truth About Lies or I'm Not Like You. Like it. Maybe it should have been bumped up a little bit on the record.
Yeah, I can see that. I think. Oh, go ahead.
I think Giving In Again and Begin Again have very similar titles and are pretty similar songs. So I almost wonder if like bookending them and cutting out 4 songs and making it a nice EP that started with Begin Again and then Giving In Again. Maybe there was some thematic stuff we could have done with that. I don't know. Let's jump into. So we did come over and think of the song. Okay, what do you think of the recording between? So Give Up, re-record, remix, remaster, Good As Is, or Actually Happy? This is for the recording part.
Yes. So not the mixing, not the mastering.
Well, no.
Or for all of that. Okay.
So yeah, just not the songwriting part.
I would. I might just remaster this one. I think with just a little bit of just like changing the overall dynamics a little bit between the sections. Why not? Remaster only.
I would re-record.
Okay. Okay.
Simply because, and I don't know if this falls into the recording part or the writing part, but better strings is always going to be like number one thing for me. Fixing, like you said, coming out of the solo, and then, like you said, picking a tempo and not wavering the tempo. Okay. Is this song classic? Single, album cut, slightly embarrassing, which I think is also a demo slightly embarrassing, or throwaway / kill it with fire.
All right, so the question is relative to this album or just
that's the problem.
General?
Yeah, or because I was thinking about the two, and it's like, well, it has to at least be relative to Darling Waste, because I can't be like, well, compared to Pet Sounds, nothing's a classic.
Well, so I don't know if I actually like Pet Sounds that much.
Me either. I don't know why I used that. I refute that immediately. Compared to Jay-Z's Blueprint. All right.
So what do you think on this?
I am going to go with album cut.
Same here. And I was going to go album cut regardless of whether it's Darling Waste catalog or this album specific.
Yeah, I agree. For this album, it's a fucking classic. But for Darling Waste
lead
overall,
single,
yeah, for overall,
changing of the seasons.
If we re-recorded this, from scratch, there's enough bones here, or whatever, enough meat on them bones that we could. We could do it.
If we re-recorded, between tweaking up a few melodies, fixing the arrangement a little bit, doing some of the orchestration a little different, absolutely.
All right, cool. Okay, if you could only make one change to the song, what would you change? It could be in the writing, the recording, the mixing, the mastering.
If I could only make one change, it would be to re-record that last line of the first verse that's really, really pitchy.
I think they re-record the last line of the song. Like, it's so much better than the rest of it.
We got to shit it up a little.
We got to fucking lower the quality.
No, I think that for me is the biggest miss, because it doesn't show what you're capable of.
Yeah, I think for me, what if I was like turn down the backing vocals and it's perfect? No,
Never.
I think
you.
if it were for me, the one change I would do that would make the most impact on this song, adding an extra instrument. I think if we went through with a really nice, beautiful, clean electric guitar with an open chords that was just slightly dirty, slightly dirty, and played it quietly, arpeggiated through the verses, and then dug in the choruses, so it kind of glued the whole song together as there's another guitarist on this thing, and they could have done something fun during the solo as well. Maybe that.
I like the idea of it arpeggiating during the verse because you don't need another thing just hitting chords.
Right.
So even though I might say, let's try that and also try some other instruments, doing some other things instead and see which we like best, at least the fact that it's doing almost a counter melody would have really helped those verses.
I would have done almost a response, like where I go like, all along, all I want, something else, some ear candy guitar part.
Now, I'm going to say, because this is sort of you love Counting Crows, what if we had gotten Frank to do some B3?
Loved it. That would be great too. I would love a nice organ part on this thing for sure. I was thinking like, pedal steel or organ or something, just something to make it a little more Nashville, a little more Southern rock. So, okay. Is the song too long for Jamie?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have shortened
that
a few
one
things,
part.
But it's not bad. I didn't lose my interest listening to it.
Do you like the tagged on string intro before the guitar starts, or would you cut that off and just start with the guitar?
I almost wonder if I would have started with just strings and vocals.
Oh yeah, all right.
And then brought the guitar in, maybe.
And then have we played it live, and how was it received? I think this song by default was well received because it was one of the first three that we showed everyone, so I think it had a little bit of a life. And then I think we did play it for the first couple years before Manifest, for sure. We were playing the song quite often, so fine. People thought it was fine, I'm sure. I don't think it was like a home run song for us or anything, but okay. And does that put a pin on this?
I think that puts a pin on Begin Again.
All right. Do you have any recommendations?
I do. Wonder Years released an acoustic concert on Christmas Day, and I just got around to listening to it today. And although I think I still prefer them electric, it's a really interesting version. They have a couple string players with them, and he does a nice job. His voice really
Saul
works
came
in
out
that
swinging
context.
from it. I haven't seen the rest of it.
Yeah, so pretty good. What I will say that was also interesting is he seems like a really nice dude.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, I was listening to him talking to the crowd, and his grandmother's there, and he totally was defending trans people. So I will always take that for a win.
Does that. Yeah.
Yeah. So seemed like a good dude, which. It was interesting at one point when he talked about how they don't have a lot of love songs about falling in love and good love. There's a lot of that sort of problematic stuff, and we've talked about that in a few other episodes. That this whole genre tends to fall into almost a subtle misogyny, and that all the songs are about conflict with women. And I was glad to hear him at least own that a little bit, not maybe fully dissecting it, and a concert's probably not the place to dissect the fourth wave feminist stance of your own music, but he seemed like a good dude, and I was liking the concert. I was listening to it while I was doing finance work today.
Nice.
How about you? Any recommendations?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to show this really quick, and then I'll go. This was brought up on another podcast. This was brought up on Mostly Nitpicking with Nando V Movies, and then he also has done a really nice YouTube video about it, but I can't stop digging through it, and it's been this weird wormhole for me. So this is Mr. Beast. Are you familiar with Mr. Beast?
Only vaguely.
He gives people a lot of money, but he makes them play weird Beast games and shit. If whoever holds the car last wins the car, and I don't know, weird dude. So
he's just an internet influencer, right? Or internet
100%
celebrity. Okay.
Yeah, I think he sells fucking energy drinks now or something. So, and are you familiar with Rial? So over in what used to be Saudi Arabia, which is, remember they had all the comedians go over there, and there was all the backlash. So that's Riyadh.
Right. Because people were absolutely idiots to go over and do that.
So Mr. Beast has his own theme park over there during Riyadh called Beastland. And this is the website. And when you go down, they have these things called zones, and you can explore, and there's booklets to kind of explain about the Riyadh season, right? And then there's this thing called Charlie Chonka. And
oh, Jesus.
It is a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory themed restaurant eating experience that clearly doesn't exist. And it's clearly these insane.
I mean, it's crazy. I'm just looking at this. Like, that's like chocolate blood dripping down from the ceiling.
Yes. So when you walk in, there is apparently a stack of teddy bears in a chocolate gooey fountain that spills onto a marble floor, but also chocolate bleeding from the ceiling on you. Like fucking shining. And there's just gold presents everywhere. Okay, so that's when you walk in the door. Then you can take a picture with these horrifying teddy bears and this creature right here, and this elf on a shelf that's human sized. Then you get to go into this area, which is what is this
called? Also clearly AI generated.
Oh, 100%. What is that thing called? Those little macaroons?
Oh, yeah.
So this is the macaroon room. Where this AI lady in a chocolate dress holds a whisk like a wand at you, and you can just, I guess, eat all the macaroons and drink all the tea you want in this restaurant. And you can book this. Okay, this one looks normal, right? It's okay, I guess.
I still don't believe it's real, but
it's like, I think it's inside of a warehouse, and they've put this fake facade up. So I'm like, maybe I believe that one. Still doesn't look real. Here's the eating place, right? So there's the entry, and then but. So you're like, okay, this is cool. You sit down here, you eat the chocolates. You're in a warehouse. It looks like it's outside. Here it is again, clearly AI and clearly a different place. Like if you look, the doors are different, the ceiling's different. The squiggle lines on these chairs are insane if you like just stare at them too long.
Is this like supposed to be an outside patio and the other's like inside the restaurant?
But they're from the same angle, same position. The presents, I mean, are clearly not there.
Do you see in the background of this one, there's like those blue hanging things.
Yes.
And there's these blue hanging things in the next one.
Yes.
I don't know, but why different chairs?
So you ready? Then the last one I'm going to show you is if you get through all of this, this band comes.
My Lord.
Which is, I guess, the sister of the chocolate lady whose finger is on fire. A furry bear guy with two trumpets.
I've seen somebody play two saxophones simultaneously, 3 actually. But.
And he's trying to wedge the one into his mouth because he's wearing a fucking mask. And then another man who I guess is elderly Charlie Chonka, who is a steampunk dusty man with a clearly fictitious horn. And they come out, and she's on fire, and the thing tries to play through its fake face.
Nothing about looking at these people make me think that the food is sanitary enough to eat.
Yeah, or that I want to be there when they get there. They're going to kill me. So this is being pissed. You can buy tickets to this thing right now and go there.
It's another Fire Fest.
Oh, 100%. Charlie Chonka and the Little Crazy Factory Crazy with a K. And Factory with a K. So yeah, you can check that out. And if you want to watch a full breakdown of it, one of my favorite YouTubers, Nando, on Nando V Movies, he has a whole breakdown about it. It's amazing. So okay, I think that's it. Next week is Not Around. Oh, boy. The very first Darling Waste recorded song when we were just figuring it out. We're almost done. Not Around, Some Comfort Here, Giving It Again, and then the hidden track. So
pretty amazing.
Yeah, by February, we'll be out of this album and on to other things.
That's pretty amazing.
Thank you very much. I love you. I will see you. I'll talk to you before I see you.
Yes, we'll definitely podcast next week.
And then I'll be up there in a week and a half. Or no, 2 weeks. It's still a long way away. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm an idiot. All right, cool. All right, awesome. Talk to you soon.
Love you. Take care.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.